So, according to Russian state media, the deal that Lukashenko brokered between Putin and Prigozhin includes security assurances for Prigozhin's Wagner Group, as well as the removal of the defense minister Sergei Shoigu and the army chief of the general staff Valery Gerasimov. Now, this is one of Prigozhin's original stated goals. He wanted to have them removed because of how inept they have been with regard to Ukraine. And no amount of Russian support can sit there and tell anyone that Shoigu and Gerasimov knew anything about what they were doing in Ukraine. It has been a unmitigated failure for them. And so Prigozhin wanted them to be removed. Putin was hesitant to remove them because it makes the Kremlin look weak. Well, now it seems like Putin has caved to Prigozhin, granted security guarantees, as well as said he will remove Shoigu and Gerasimov, which is what Prigozhin wanted. And the only thing Putin got out of it was Prigozhin isn't going to march on Moscow with his March for Freedom Wagner troops, or excuse me, March for Justice Wagner troops. This is essentially Putin negotiating with terrorists in his own country. So we can expect that different angles of this are going to take place, maybe not as large scale, and maybe Putin moves to eliminate this type of uprising in the future. But in the meantime, Putin looks extraordinarily weak and inept and slow in this situation. And I don't know what it's going to do for his administration, his regime in the eyes of the Russians, let alone what Wagner Group's going to do moving forward. Are they going to re-engage on the front lines as a trusted entity? Or does that mean that they're now untouchable, meaning that if they don't get what they want from Russia, they just turn around and start marching on Moscow again? This is, even if there is some sort of negotiated settlement for a reduction in anger and tensions, nothing says that this can't just roar back quickly. We saw how fast this escalated, how quickly Prigozhin got upset, gathered his people, and moved. Now, granted, I think this was a lot more pre-planned than originally thought. It's not as reactionary, but just know that it worked. Prigozhin pretty much got what he initially stated he wanted. He never stated he was going to overthrow Putin, but he was prepared to go that distance if he didn't get what originally he stated was removal of Shoigu and Gerasimov, as well as guarantees for Wagner Group, as well as guarantees for Russian soldiers. The entire deal that was brokered hasn't been released. There's probably more in it than what we're being shown, but what the Russian state media themselves are saying is that the leadership in the Ministry of Defense is going to change. Gerasimov and Shoigu will likely be out, and Wagner Group got some security guarantees on top of it.